Welcome to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your continued support to our channel. Now, yesterday, the former President Uhuru Kenyatta shocked many when he urged Gen Zs to stand up and emancipate their country. Now, the history of Gen Zs and Ruto's government is one that is scary, owing to the events that took place in June last year when William Ruto swallowed humble pie after Gen Zs rejected the Finance Bill 2023. So when Uhuru Kenyatta made these statements, it didn't go down well with the very close allies of William Samoei Ruto.
Shida ya watu siku hizi, everybody ana sijui mumeogopeshwa, sijui even you gena, naona rudi uingie hii majenzi, nyinyi ndio the story of the future. Fight for your rights bwana, sio kukakaa hapo wakaa hapo mambo mali yenu ichukuliwe na nini, mumeitolea jasho. Msikubali, pambaneni, muhakikishe mumepata haki yenu. Mnasikia nyinyi? Sio kukaa hapo tu, kuna kitu inadumu. But everything is worth a fight for. If you don't fight for it, ikienda mtu asilie. Msimame mupiganie haki yenu. Na mko na hawa watoto wamebaki ambao wako tayari kupigania haki yao. Waungane pamoja nanyi. Can't just stand there and let people take your hard earned sweat. Dunia iendi namna hiyo. Muwe watu ambao hawataogopa, wataishi kama my friend. Ameenda detention, si alitoka na akaendelea na maisha. Hata nyinyi teteeni haki ze. Sio kukaa tu munaogopa. Kuogopa sasa ni sisi tutulie sisi. Nyinyi ndio mko na nguvu ya kupambana na hii watu. But we are behind you. Muendelee namna hiyo.
And many people were asking that was it a coincidence or something that he planned deliberately, that immediately after his allies that he donated to William Ruto to be nominated into the cabinet was sworn in, he came up with this very explosive statement. Why wait? That's what people are asking. Why wait for his people to be sworn in? Why didn't he make this statement before? If you want to know just how much terrified the Ruto regime feels when you mention the Gen Zs, then I want you to listen to the minority leader, Junet Mohammed, saying that after the events of June last year, when Gen Z stormed parliament, I think in the history of Kenya it has never happened before. Now the parliament, or rather the concerned parties, are considering relocating parliament from Nairobi because we are still sitting on a time bomb. We have not resolved the issues that Gen Zs talked about, and they fear that they can rise up again. And this time, experts are saying that if they do, it will be the end of Ruto. So Junet is saying that behind the happy facade that we have, in the corridors of power, they feel that they should relocate parliament.
Kisumu City has done a wonderful job. And I've heard in parliament that they're saying they want to shift parliament to another city. I don't know, is it because of the mandamano that people come there every time? I saw them discussing the other day. So I will tell them, if you want to go to somewhere else, come to Kisumu. They should shift parliament, because in South Africa, the government sits in Pretoria and parliament sits in Cape Town. So this can be our Cape Town. They can bring parliament here, and I'm proposing that to the majority leader so that he can come here and affirm that the people of Kiambu will be able to come and do their parliamentary.
Now, when he talks, we can easily trivialize those statements, but they go deep and they reveal that Gen Zs are not a joke. They really dealt with the Ruto government, and Ruto understands. The security apparatus understand just how difficult it was. That period is one of the very difficult moments for William Ruto in his political career, ever since he started as the Eldoret North Member of Parliament. Now, I've been waiting for the usual suspects to start criticizing Uhuru Kenyatta, to start attacking him, especially Kimani Chungwa, but I've not heard him speak. And I think he's trying to avoid this confrontation with Uhuru Kenyatta, for obviously consequences will not be very palatable. Now, one person who was sent by the UDA brigade to go and confront Uhuru Kenyatta is Aden Duale, the former majority leader. Even as he made that statement, he avoided that direct confrontation with the former president. He didn't call out his name. And I want you to listen to him, then you will understand that they have decided to cultivate another tone. I don't know whether in the coming days you will see people like Kimani Chunga calling out on the former president directly, but this is how Duale did it.
And I want to ask leaders, most of political leaders, current leaders and former leaders of our country, not to encourage our young people to commit acts of violence. When you stand before young people, our Gen Zs, you must, as a leader, you have a moral responsibility, because all leaders are parents and we lead the country, and you have an opportunity to lead the country. Do not ask young people and encourage them to commit violence. Encourage them to keep peace and stability of our country.
If you have studied the politics, especially UDA politics, you will understand that whenever there is a crisis in the country, they usually have a meeting and each and every person is apportioned what she is going to say. You remember when Justin Muturi said that his son was kidnapped, there were certain leaders who had been given that role to ensure that they attacked Justin Muturi, telling him, if you don't want to be in the cabinet, then we will fire you, we will bring a censure motion. They were very specific leaders. When they were about to impeach Rigathi Gachagua, there were certain leaders who were charged to talk about it, led by Kimani Chunga, was telling William Ruto, there is a snake in your hands. So this time round, they have picked on Eden Duale. And nothing in politics happens. This was planned, and they have decided to send Eden Duale to remind Uhuru Kenyatta that he needs to go slow. And the forces within the security apparatus understand that you can never assume or ignore the sentiments of the former president, because Gen Zs are still looking at this government with a lot of bitterness. Not only the Gen Zs, but even the parents of the Gen Zs are struggling. The medical cover is not working. The entire medical system is not working. The SHA is not working. Just the other day, you saw parents storming a meeting in which the CS of health was giving a press conference, and they told the nation this thing is not working. Schools have opened, and parents are crying out because school fees is hard to come by. The issues that took Gen Zs to the streets are unresolved. In fact, they have been brought back. You remember Gen Zs went to the street because of the Finance Bill 2024. Right now, there are certain sections that have been brought through the back door. The president ascended to the amendment bill, the finance amendment bill, just the other day, and they are back. And the government assumes that it will be business as usual. William Ruto assumes that by going for Uhuru Kenyatta, going for Raila, that things will be business as usual. It will not, because the underlying issues are still large. They have not been resolved. They cut the tree by the trunk, but they never removed the root. So the root cause of the problem is still there. And that is why those who are close to power understand that we might just find ourselves in a situation where we were. And that's why they are telling Uhuru Kenyatta that they need to be very careful in the statements that they make. But I don't think the statements were far-fetched, because he simply told Gen Zs, stand up for your rights. That is it. That has been the language. What is different from what Uhuru said and what Raila has been telling people, that young people must now stand up for their rights? These statements are coming at a time when Gen Zs are also being told that they lack respect. They have decided to now go to the social media to criticize Ruto. And even with the social media, the government is punching. There are certain regulations that are being made here and there. And so Duale's statements could have come at a better time for the government. And I believe he's speaking on behalf of William Ruto. I believe William Ruto does not want to confront directly his former boss, because he knows very well he's still massaging the ego of Mount Kenya. So if he does anything, it might backfire on him. Uhuru Kenyatta is one person who is also facing a lot of onslaught. People are saying, you did some of the very worst atrocities, or worst things like killings, but we never saw your people criticize your government. There's been that kind of argument that Uhuru was even worse than William Ruto, but they never saw Mount Kenya rise up against him. And I don't know, this is something I've been asking. How true is it that Uhuru was worse than Ruto? How true is it that people never criticized? I think there were people all over who criticized whenever need be, and they called out on the previous government. The previous government was held by Uhuru and Ruto. Ruto was in it, and we talk as if Ruto was not part and parcel of it. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I think whether it happened or it didn't happen, people confront the situation as it is. Junet Mohammed has revealed that the government is scared about the Gen Zs. And Eden Duale's statements also reveal that they don't take those statements, casually. They know the repercussions. It can be worse. But as Sifuna puts it, as long as William Ruto is not going to implement what he told Gen Zs, then the die is cast, and sooner than soonest, we might find ourselves in even a worse situation than what we witnessed in June